Now that the Labour government have finally called a national inquiry, after incessant pressure from the public and the media, and also the two right-wing parties, after continuous pressure to call a national inquiry, I think it's actually time to take a step back and actually assess why on earth were they so against it the first time, but now they're actually changing their mind. Because this isn't about tribalism, okay? This isn't about trying to back your party no matter what, and also trying to be against whatever other parties say. This is about attending adequately to people that are falling victims to these criminals. This is what it's about. It ain't about being right or wrong. It's about producing and having a platform for people that have been victimized, for them to actually remove the opportunity for them to ever be more victims in the future. But before getting into today's video, if you're new here and you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel, and also drop a like on the video. It will be massively appreciated. Let's get into it.
Sexual exploitation of children by grooming gangs is one of the most horrific crimes. Children as young as 10 plied with drugs and alcohol, brutally raped by gangs of men, and disgracefully let down again and again by the authorities who were meant to protect them and keep them safe. And these despicable crimes have caused the most unimaginable harm to victims and survivors throughout their lives, and are a stain on our society. The findings of her audit are damning. At its heart, she identifies a deep-rooted failure to treat children as children, a continued failure to protect children and teenage girls from rape, from exploitation and serious violence, and from the scars that last a lifetime.
See, that is scary, okay? The level of incompetence over there is absolutely scary. But you can't just think these people are incompetent. You've actually got to look deeper than that. What is it that's actually causing that? Because it can't be that bad. Like, you can't mess up. You can't be that incompetent. That level of incompetency is scary. How that can be allowed. How you can treat young girls like they're adults. How does that even make any sense? How can you assume they autonomously chose to do these things? I don't understand how this is actually possible. How has this actually happened?
She finds too much fragmentation in the authorities' response, too little sharing of information, too much reliance on flawed data, too much denial, too little justice, too many criminals getting off, too many victims being let down. In the local data that the audit examined from 3 police forces, they identify clear evidence of overrepresentation among suspects of Asian and Pakistani heritage men.
Oh boy. Because this is exactly one of the main leading causes why there's been so much uproar as to why there isn't a national inquiry. Because they just keep saying it, that, hey, there's an overrepresentation of Pakistani men and Asian men in these grooming gangs, okay? Because clearly, like, if they're doing this, you cannot leave out that information. You've got to put it there when you're actually assessing the whole thing. But I have to be honest, this is a very bad outlook, okay? Because considering the reasons why they didn't even want to do a national inquiry was because they didn't actually believe that there was an overrepresentation of Pakistani men in the first place. So for them to come out and admit that, hey, there actually is an overrepresentation, number one, that's very bad. That just makes you look very bad. Number two, what kind of precedent does that actually set for you to actually be able to cover up this kind of stuff? What else are you actually covering up? Because the media, like, for everyone, we didn't know this, right? No one truly had any information, no matter what anyone said, okay? Even the people that were claiming that the grooming gangs were overrepresented by Pakistani men, they didn't actually know that for sure. No one had information. But obviously now that she's obviously saying it, she obviously now had additional information. Now she's saying it. But if you're trying to keep that because you don't want to cause an uproar or anything, that is very bad. That just isn't good at all.
And she refers to examples of organisations avoiding the topic altogether for fear of appearing racist or raising community tensions.
That's bad. That's really bad. That's not good at all.
These findings are deeply disturbing.
Now, first of all, right, even though admitting that, hey, you might be actually wrong when it comes to the representation of the people that are actually involved in these grooming gangs, right? But one thing you can't let this lead you down to is assuming it's just all Asian on all Pakistanis, and then therefore you don't really focus too much on all over races. That obviously isn't necessarily fair to the victims that could be people that could be victims to over races. So you gotta obviously understand that, hey, this might be the majority, but a huge portion might still be over races. That's one path I hope like this whole inquiry, I know if investigation doesn't go down in, because that obviously is very dangerous.
They can mutter now. They all mutter now. 3 times, Mr. Speaker, these Labour MPs voted against the national inquiry.
I'm not really sure why she's talking, okay? Because the Conservatives, they were in power for 14 years. They had all the power. They had everything to do literally what they're calling for right now. They didn't do it. But guess what? Now you know you're not in power. It's so easy for you to just get on the bandwagon. Oh my God, yeah, just national inquiry. It's like, calm down, okay? You had all the opportunities to do exactly the same thing you're criticizing them about. You didn't really do it, okay? All these grooming gangs happened under your party, okay? I don't think you have any ground to stand on, genuinely.
Voted against it 3 times. Liberal Democrats didn't bother to vote at all. Asleep at the wheel. Labour MPs voted against
Asleep at the wheel.
the reasoned amendment to the Children's Bill. At committee stage of that bill, they voted against. At committee stage of the crime and policing.
To the victims and survivors of sexual exploitation and grooming gangs, on behalf of this and past governments and the many public authorities who let you down, I want to reiterate an unequivocal apology for the unimaginable pain and suffering that you have suffered. And
it kind of begs the question, though. How is it that you didn't see this before, number one? But if you did say it, this is even worse than not being able to say it. Because if you did say it and you knew about it, but you kept it a secret, that's even worse. Like, which one is it? If you didn't say it, then that's very incompetent. But if you did, that's even worse. That's very, very bad.
the failure of our country's institutions through decades to prevent that harm and keep you safe.
I've looked at her report. I've considered that material. I think she's right, and that's why there'll be a national inquiry. It'll be a statutory inquiry. It'll go wherever it needs to go. So that's the
that's good.
Position I've taken. From the position I was in 15 years ago to the position I'm in now, my focus is on the victims of this vile offence. And having asked Louise Casey to do that review, she's come up with a recommendation. I've now accepted it.
I mean, hopefully they actually, number one, they got to have a good reason as to why they actually did it in the first place when I actually have a national inquiry. They have to have a good reason. Because if you were so against it before and you voted against it 3 different times, but now you are for it, it's like, okay, what is it that's actually changed? You can't say the media pressure or the pressure from the Conservatives or the Reform Party. That's not good enough. You don't make your policies based on, like, you know, what the opposition is saying to you. You got to look at a policy and actually say, hey, this is good. This is what I want to do, right? But the problem is, to be honest, it keeps reversing on practically everything they didn't do, right? It's reversed on the winter fuel allowance. It's reversed on the national inquiry allowance. So what is it? Is that like a symptom of like the continuously reversing everything they were planning to do? Or is this like just a thing where they were like, okay, it's better to actually do this? Well, that's just my thoughts on the video. If you like the video, it will be massively appreciated if you drop a like. And also, if you're new around there and you want to see more content like this, subscribe.